Okay, cool. I'm still trying to get everyone in here. All right, I'm gonna kick it off with a little recognition. You guys have probably like seen a trend, like if you've been on the team call. We always try to do two types of recognition. The first being success, the SC club. So we got that always gets posted usually on Tuesdays, and I think it gets posted usually like Tuesday morning, and you'll see like that's basically gonna be your personal effort. So Success Club and PV, which is personal volume, that's all based on what you do. So let me read off and see if I can share my screen here. Can you guys see that? All right, cool. So this is October, the October Success Club board. So with SC10 last month, we got Svetlana Schneider, Nicole Grant, Kim Roberts, Kelsey Connor, Cassandra Steelman, Heather Green, Aaron Campman, Emily Kabaka, Darlene Murray, Christina Tropiano, Autumn Knowlton, Amy Eckert, Marie Sardelli, Lindsay Elena, Casey Bachlet, Michelle Cahill, Kate Schultz, Caitlin Teft, Kelly Marks, Megan Jones, and Emily Hollister. And then at SC20, we got Sydney Thompson, Destiny Moldens, Cassie Jackson, and Ashley Feldyson. And then SC32, Carrie Steelman Schmidt, and SC38, Bailey Glanzer. So that's October. That is going to be based on the amount of new people that you helped get started with their own journey with the challenge pack. And then on usually Thursday or Friday, we post the cycles board. So this board is based on not just how many people you help, it's based on how many people your team helps. So let me pull that up real quick. So basically, every time your team sells $300 worth of product, or we call it 300 team volume points, you earn a cycle. So every 300 equals a cycle. And as an emerald, you get $14 for every cycle your team does. As a diamond, you get $18 for every cycle your team does. So these are the coaches that cycled 3 times based on how many people their team has helped. So we got Andrea Wallace's second business center. So all the coaches underneath Andrea Wallace's second business center, everything that they buy, everything that they sell, that creates team volume for Andrea Wallace's second business center, which helps her second business center cycle. And at the same time, that volume also helps her first business center cycle. So she double dips, which is why it's super important to sign up a spouse right away or a family member right away, so you can start to create that double dipping. And then eventually, when you get to 2-star diamond, you get to open up a second version of yourself and start to even triple dip. So that's what Andrea Wallace is doing here with 3 cycles in her second business center. We got Miranda Owen, Catherine Heisen, Callie Marks, Kylie Winay, Elizabeth Conning, Eric Connor, Samantha Benko, Jennifer Smith, Bree Johnson, Jonah Lynn, Pedro. We got Caroline Nathan, second business center with 4 cycles, Maddie Fenton, Lauren Bauman, Casey Bachlet, Chloe Baker, Marilla Morin, and Delaney Cleason with 5 cycles. We got Brian Ream, Aaron Campman, Caitlin Walsh, Rachel Batchelder, Teresa Neidlinger, Nina Vitalino, Sean Wortham with 6 cycles. We got Marie Sardelli. We got Jennifer Reeve, Lindsay Schiff into shape, Bethany Lafredo, Christina Tropiano, Robert Rodriguez with 7, Sydney Thompson's second business center with 7, Amy Eckert's second with 7, Sue Sardelli and Lauren Kellum with 7, my third business center with 8, and then Susie Bell and Bailey Glanzer with 8, Kelsey Connor with 9, and then in the 10 cycles club, we got Michelle Katz, Kate Teft, Kim Roberts, Corey O'Laughlin, Ashley Feld-Dyson, second business center, Craig Schmidt, Megan Jones, Megan Wortham. With 15 cycles, we got Chris Bachlet, Tyler Smith, Lindsay Elena, Kate Schultz, second business center, Michelle Cahill, Caroline Nathan, Gage Eckert, and Terry Bachlet. With 20, we got Anne-Marie Kellen, Danielle Ream, Terry Steelman Schmidt, Lake Thompson, and Brooke Reed. With 30, we got Marie Ottaway, Cassie Jackson, Chuck Wallace, Curtis Schultz. With 40, we got Shauna Valenta and Amy Eckert. With 50, we got Sydney Thompson. With 60, my second business center. With 90, Kate Schultz. 115 cycles, Michelle Phillips. 124 cycles, Ashley Feld-Dyson. And then in the 140 plus club, we got Beth Reelman, Andrea Wallace, and myself. All right. So that is the two different types of recognition that we try to always recognize every week. That PV Success Club that's based on your effort, and then the team volume, which is based on efforts of an entire team. And that's honestly where most of the income is going to come from. But continuing to get your own customers, hit Success Club is kind of like the gateway into eventually getting some great coaches that are going to lead to all these cycles. All right. So that's the recognition. I want to do a couple little announcements here. So I don't know if you guys, some of you guys that are diamonds, we get like the Diamond Insider that comes out every week, or excuse me, every month. They usually send out the Diamond Insider email the last day of the month. So if you guys are diamond, you probably got an email on either like the 30th or 31st of October. If you're not a diamond, then you probably got the November update on the 1st of November. But it has all the key dates. So starting with No Excuse November. This is always like,
Pat,
yeah.
really quick, I think some people are trying to get in.
Okay.
And then someone said if you hit enable waiting room, you shouldn't have to admit them in.
All right, where do we hit the enable waiting room?
Sorry.
Enable waiting room. What the hell is that thing? Allow participants. Oh, it won't even give me that option. It's weird. All right. I'll try to keep doing it. I'll just keep an eye on it. All right. So this is always like a fun time of the year for me because I've been a coach for 12 years. The first like 5 years, I didn't really take it serious. The last 7, I've really treated it more like a business. But every year in November, and especially on election year, so this is my 4th election year because I became a coach in 2008. And so there was an election, like I caught the last few months of George Bush, believe it or not. I've been a coach that long. And then there was an election in 2008. There was an election in 2012, 2016, and now 2020. But every single year, whether it's an election year or not, a lot of people fall off their own journey during November and December because of the holidays. And then especially during election year, I've always seen it over the last 4 election years, some customers and coaches fall off because there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, especially this year. And just in general, November and December, there's a lot going on with holidays and stuff. And people just tend to throw their routine out the fucking window. And it's tough to watch, but there's also this other group of coaches that I never see take a break. They actually put their foot on the gas even more in November and December. And those are the coaches that end up getting all of the New Year's resolutions in January. The effort that you put in these next 60 days, showing up every day for these next 60 days for yourself on your own journey and sharing that on social media is going to pay huge, huge dividends when it comes to the New Year's resolutions. You're going to bring in your class of 2021 in January. And the work that you put in right now for these next 60 days, it's what's going to dictate who you bring in as your class of 2021. These next 60 days are going to set the pace for your 2021. So how many of you guys played sports growing up as a kid? The fourth quarter is the most exciting part of the game. And if you guys watch football, you guys see the players, when the third quarter ends, they all hold their hand up like this because they know the fourth quarter is coming up and they know that's what's going to determine the wins or the losses. So when I was growing up, the fourth quarter was always the most exciting thing for me. It was always when I put the most amount of effort in. It was when I was the most excited. And that's how I've always treated November and December with this business. I've treated it like it was the fourth quarter. And I knew that what I did right now was going to set the tone for the entire next year. But a lot
There's still more people in the waiting room.
All right, cool. I see 2 more.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me know. All right. I saw 2. I think they're in now. So we always talk about like the foundation of this business, right? The four legs of the table, the 4 legs of the chair. If one of the legs is uneven or off, your foundation is going to be wobbly. So those 4 legs are mindset, personal development, taking care of that 6 inches between your ears. How many of you guys experience a little bit of a change in your mood sometimes when it starts getting cold out? Your body might be a little bit achier. Your mind might drift a little bit. You might start eating a little bit differently because you can, hide the extra pounds with some baggy clothes when it starts getting cold. So starting with that 6 inches between your ears, starting your day with even just 10 minutes of a really good book or some kind of podcast, just to start to pull some of the weeds out and plant some good seeds is huge. That's the first leg of the chair. And then you got the fitness, that just your physical fitness, how your body feels energetically based on strength training and yoga and movement. We all know that's huge. And then how you feel your body. If you put holiday food in a Ferrari, if you put just regular fuel in a Ferrari, it's going to fuck up the engine. You have to put premium fuel in a Ferrari. So that's what we're going to be doing these next 60 days. We're going to be fueling our bodies like it's a Ferrari, not Ford Focus. No offense if you have a Ford Focus. I love Ford Focuses. But that's the third part. And then the fourth part is the community, staying close to the fire. So who's in for those 4 things? Taking care of this little 6 inches between the ears, whatever that is for you. A book, personal development, meditation, sauna, cold plunge, whatever works for you. Maybe a combination of those things. But this right here is huge. Starting your day right here is going to be huge these next 60 days. It's going to set the tone for 2021. And then committing to your workouts a little bit harder than maybe some people are going to these next 60 days. And then food. I know it's going to be hard, but we can stay on track a little bit more than most people. And then staying a little bit closer to the fire than a lot of people are going to. I kind of look at this team as like a fire. And we all kind of come to this thing with a little bit of fire. And when we all come together, that fire really kind of grows. And then we all leave with a little bit more fire than we had when we first showed up. So showing up to power hours, showing up to team calls, hopping on little one-on-one calls with your team, reaching out to some of your coaches that maybe have fallen off, and maybe not even trying to get them to start building their business, but just try to get them back into challenger mode. Maybe start a challenge group just for your coaches that have fallen off with their own journey. The inviting and the connecting, that'll come, but they got to start getting back on track with their own stuff. With this right here, with the workouts, with the food, and with getting a little bit closer to the fire. It's huge, especially this time of year. So I'm I'm going to be doing a little 21-day challenge starting November 16th. And I picked that date because then 21 days from November 16th is when 9-week Control Freak comes out. So I'm going to try to do a little November 16th challenge, not with just customers, but also with some of my coaches that have not only fallen off their business, but they've fallen off just themselves. So that's just an idea to kind of throw out there for you guys to maybe think about with some of your challengers and coaches that probably just need to hop back in their own routine and get those 4 things going. Perfect time of the year to do they call the No Excuse November. They do this every year, and I love it. For $140, you get a month of Shakeology, and you get a year of Beachbody On Demand for $140. Like, I don't know what Carl is thinking with some of the stuff he does, but I'm not going to argue it. So for $140, you get a year of access to all the workouts for an entire year and a month of Shakeology. And then, so I always start with that. And then if that's what they're interested in, then I always let them know, hey, like, just want to let you know for an extra $60, they'll throw in a month of the pre-workout and a month of the post-workout recovery shake as well. So they can get a month of Shakeology, a month of the pre-workout, a month of the recover, and a year of Beachbody On Demand for $200. And I can't tell you how many of those $200 challenge packs I've sold in November and December over the years, but it's a lot. Just because I push that. Like, I just think it's insane. And the language I always use for that every year is like, hey, this is the promo pack that everyone's jumping on right now. This is the promo pack everyone's jumping on right now. And they should, because it's crazy. So those are the two, like the No Excuse November. Anything that's 160, boom, down to 140. And the 220 pack, down to 200. So coaches or customers, there's also a little thing. So any coach or customer that buys a challenge pack this month, either a challenge pack or a completion pack this month, they're going to get 30% off the 9-week Control Freak when that comes out at the beginning of December. So anybody that's like kind of on the fence about maybe I want to start when 9-week Control Freak comes out in December, it's like, just do it now. You get $20 off this month. And then when 9-week Control Freak comes out, you can get the VIP early access for 30% off. They'll send you a code to do that if they buy the challenge pack in November to get that 30% off in December when Autumn's new program comes out. All right. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but see if I can share my screen for a second here. So on Beachbody On Demand, if you go to new and featured, they have Unstress, which is a 21-day meditation program. So basically every day for 21 days, you do a different 10-minute meditation with a different meditation teacher, which is really cool. And they're short, just 10 minutes. And then also under this relax and meditation, this Elise, the Bar Blend lady, she is releasing, I think they're like 2 or 3 minute meditations. And she's releasing those. So here's the Unstress, all 3 weeks of that. Those are 10 minutes. And then Elise has these IM meditations that are even shorter, like 4 minutes. And she releases 7 new ones every week. And she's going to continue to do that until November 20th. So there's a bunch already in here. And then there's going to be a bunch that are going to keep coming until the 20th. So another like 3 weeks of that. And then I've always done these meditations because they've been in here for years with this lady, B. She's like got a cool British accent that really helps you kind of drop into the meditations. So I love those ones as well. But this is like another little extra thing that, especially this time of year, if people started like just adding this in 4 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, game changer. All right. So yesterday, November 2nd, we had the peppermint mocha Shakeology launched. We got November 4th, tomorrow, the Morning Meltdown 100 becomes available in Beachbody On Demand for everybody. So anybody that didn't get the VIP early access to Morning Meltdown, they're going to have that show up for free starting tomorrow, which is cool for a lot of people that want that up-tempo type of workout. And then, okay, this Saturday we got Super Saturday. So obviously we can't meet up in person for this, but this has always been a game changer for coaches. When we talk about that fourth leg of the table, showing up and being a part of the community and being close to the fire, staying close to the fire, this is going to be huge for coaches. Getting on this thing live and listening to all of the announcements and prizes and things that Carl's going to be announcing on Saturday. Try to do a Zoom call with your team and your coaches. Figure out what time the Super Saturday is for your region, and reach out to the coaches on your team that are in that same region and try to set up a time that you guys can all get on a Zoom and then watch the Super Saturday together and chat with each other about some of the new things that are coming out, bounce ideas off each other about how to promote those things. So how do I know what region identifies? So here's the times right here for this Saturday coming up. Okay. Where's the times? I don't see it on the FAQ here. Oh, here they are. All right. So Northeast is going to be Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. The Great Lakes region is at 10 a.m. The Southeast region is at 11 a.m. Eastern. The Central region, which is anybody probably in the Central time zone, is going to be at 11 a.m. Central. The West region is going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then they got the UK, Canada, France. So take a look at what region you're in, and then figure out what time your Super Saturday is going to be at. Here's the link, like the live stream. Try to get on that Zoom with your team, with your coaches, so you guys can kind of, again, like get close to the fire together. These things are always game changers. I know it's a little different this time, but maybe this is going to make it easier for people because they don't have to travel anywhere. They can just do it from their home. But scheduling it now and reaching out to your coaches so they get it on their calendar now is going to definitely help them get on there and hear all this stuff. All right. November 17th. So 2 weeks from today, Autumn is going to be in the champions page. So there's 2 Beachbody Facebook groups that you guys want to be in. The Team Beachbody Coach 411. So that's TBB Coach 411. That group's where the national call is every Monday. And then the Beachbody Champions Facebook page is where a lot of just kind of one-off trainings are going to be, where they ask a lot of top coaches to go in there and give their top trainings, and some of the super trainers as well. So starting 2 weeks from today, we got 9-week Control Freak. So I'm assuming they're going to have Autumn hopping in there, and some of the top coaches that are just like the best at promoting new programs are going to be going in there, sharing some of their top stuff as well. All right. And then November 21st through the 29th, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's kind of a cool thing that Carl's doing. Carl's big on charity. So he partnered with, where is that 5K, virtual 5K? He partnered with Hope of the Valley. So Hope of the Valley is a nonprofit rescue mission in the LA area, near and dear to Beachbody's heart. So let's see. Over the past year, Beachbody employees have been volunteering, serving hot meals, raising donations, collecting supplies, and doing whatever possible to give back. Beachbody is partnering with HOV once again to raise money for the homeless with the virtual 5K. So this is a great way to get Carl's back and help him with these donations. And it's super simple. Basically, you can kind of run your own 5K, which is like 3.2 miles. And it's part of the 30-day breakaway. So if you haven't done 30-day breakaway yet, it's a 30-day program where you do 25 minutes inside lifting, and then you go outside and you do 20 minutes of either a brisk walk or a jog or run, or you can bike, or you could do a treadmill, or you could do an elliptical, whatever works for you for like 20 minutes. And it's interval training. So you don't just go outside and run the same speed for 20 minutes. She walks you through like, okay, you're going to run at 80% of your sprint pace, like for 30 seconds. And then you're going to have a 1 minute cool down. And then you're going to run for 45 seconds at your 70% pace. I love it. Like, it's so much, I enjoy it a lot more than just going out and running the same pace the whole time. But basically at the end of the 30 days, you get to do a 5K on your own, wherever you want to do it. And you can use the Map My Run app to do the 5K. But basically for that little period, November 21st through the 29th, there's a lot of Beachbody coaches that are committing to doing a 5K in their own neighborhood just by themselves, or maybe they'll get a couple coaches to do it with them. But I'm just going to probably do it by myself and donate to myself, but also see who's interested in maybe, throwing a couple bucks in as well as I do that 5K. So just a cool little thing. I love when Carl does these little extra charity give back type things like this 30-day breakaway virtual 5K. All right. Anything else I missed? Okay, cool. All right. One other thing I wanted to talk about quick. So digging for gold, digging for diamonds. I think sometimes and I do this, I've done this, we expect our new coaches, when they bring in a new coach, to just take the reins and be in charge of training that new coach. And I hated doing this when I had a full-time job, but I realized I had to. And even though I was working a full-time job and I had a pretty full plate, I carved out just a couple extra hours a week to hop on calls with my coach's coaches, even if it was a 20-minute call. And I always tried to make sure that my coach was on the call as well. So if it was a brand new coach, I'll admit you in here. If it was a brand new coach, I would schedule an hour out of my day, out of my week, to get on a Zoom call with that new coach, and I would make sure my coach was on there, and I would walk them through the basics. I'd walk them through sharing on social media, sharing their journey on social media, which is that number one skill. I would talk to them about how to reconnect with old friends and how to connect with new people using Facebook groups, or how to use Instagram to connect with new people that are local to them. And then I would walk them through the 5-step invite process. So sharing, connecting, inviting. And when I started doing those calls with my coach's coaches, it was a win for everybody, because my coach's coach got trained by a more veteran person, and my coach got to hear me train their coach. So the new coach felt more confident because they had a veteran coach connecting with them and teaching them. And my coach felt more confident because they got to not only, I trained them one time and they heard that, but then they got to hear it a second time while I trained their coach, and it started to sink in even more. And then their new coach felt more confident, so they started putting in more effort, sharing more, connecting more, inviting more. And then my coach saw that, and they started sharing more, connecting more, inviting more. It helped me. I had to start to dig for those diamonds. And sometimes it wasn't my coach that became the rock star. It was my coach's coach that became the rock star. And that was fine by me. I know it didn't really necessarily help my rank, but I'm going to work with whoever wants to run. So during these next 60 days, it might not be your PS coaches that are the ones that are going to be crushing the business. Maybe they're the ones that you can re-invite into just being a challenger again, because maybe they've fallen off their personal development. Maybe they've fallen off their workout routine. and their nutrition. But then there's going to be some other coaches that might not be your PS coaches. Maybe it's your coaches' coaches that you can reach out to and connect with and set up those Zooms with. And if you've already done a one-on-one training with them, start there. Do that first. If you've already done that, set up a 20-minute call, a 20-minute Zoom with your coaches, one-on-one, and a 20-minute call with your coaches' coaches, one-on-one, and talk about those same things. I always like on those 20-minute calls, I like to ask them again, what's their why? Why are they on this own journey for themselves? Like, why is personal development, take the business out of it. Why is personal development important to them? Why is fitness important? Why is nutrition important? Why is surrounding themselves with positive people important to them? Are they people that have a growth mindset? Are they at least people that want to have a growth mindset? I have a lot of empathy for people that are just in a state of fear, like just living in complete fight or flight and just reacting to things and just being blown around like in the wind. I have a lot of empathy for that, but I also know that you can take the reins and be so much more in control of the type of emotions you feel most often. If you just let the wind blowing dictate the emotions you're going to feel the most often in your life, you're going to feel a lot of shitty emotions, fear, uncertainty, helplessness. But if you are willing to commit to personal development, working out, moving your body, fueling your body with the right things, you're going to have so much more control of how you react to the external environment. You're going to be more of a rock. I was talking to my girlfriend this week because she's got a lot going on with her job because she's a teacher, and it's just insane what they're trying to get these teachers to do between doing the online stuff and then in person. It's like, and I was trying to talk to her about like having this like rock, like this place that you can come home to that's like, no matter what kind of weather is outside, like you feel rooted and grounded. And for me, that's personal development, that's meditation, that's breath work, that's my workouts. When I'm doing those things, the rock that I feel like I am, the roots that I have are so much stronger than when I'm not doing those things, especially this time of year. So I'm committed to a growth mindset, not a victim mindset. And I know a lot of you guys are too. And I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to be able to develop and cultivate more of a growth mindset and that rock mentality and that feeling of being rooted and having that rock versus blowing in the wind with fear and uncertainty and all that kind of stuff. So I'm committed to that. This is the fourth quarter. This is when the fourth quarter superstars rise up. This is when a lot of people back down. They don't want the ball in the fourth quarter. But if you're on this call right now, you do want the ball. You're the type of people that do want the ball right now. And there's a lot of other people that would love to have you in their corner, would love to have you on their team because they don't want the rock. So I don't really have much more than that. I do want to open it up to you guys. And if you guys have any just questions about whatever it is, like what your plans are. I know I'm going to be doing November 16th. I'm going to do a little 21-day type thing. And then I'm going into full-on freak mode December 9th, I think it is, when 9-week Control Freak comes out. But I'm excited for November, fourth quarter, setting the tone right now. There's a lot of people that are going to just drift through the holidays. And when New Year's resolutions come around, they're not going to be looking to a gym. They're going to be looking to the coaches that show up every day for these next 60 days, because you're the one that's going to be on their mind when the New Year's resolutions come around. And I know a lot of times things are slow in November and December, but again, like I've seen it over and over and over. I'm so excited for the coaches that are the lifers that show up in November and December. I actually really love November and December because it really helps me figure out who I do want to set up those 20-minute Zoom calls with. It helps me figure out who those lifers are. And then I always see like one or two rock star leaders develop in January because of the connection that I got to get with them in November and December, and the foundation they built in November and December. It's so cool to see their businesses explode in January and then them ride that momentum basically for the next year and even farther than that. I've seen so many rock star coaches that got their start right now when a lot of other coaches were backing off and falling off. So I'm excited for this time of the year. This is always one of my favorite times of the year. And I'm pumped that you guys are on here. Let's go. Fourth quarter. Let's bring it. Let's bring the heat.
Got the rock, baby.
All right. We got the rock. Right.
Go time.
It kind of, I didn't even mean to like bring the two together, but like I was talking about that. Like a lot of people don't want to in the fourth quarter, but then also I was talking to Kristen about something totally different about like creating that rock in your daily routine. So yeah, let's go. Let's ride. Fourth quarter. Anybody got any like questions or ideas? What's your guys' plan like for November? Any challenge groups starting? You guys got some maybe reaching out to some coaches that have fallen off, not even reaching out to get them back into the business, just reaching out to get them back into the routine. What do you guys got? What's
I do. I don't know if I had to raise my hand or not. It's Molly.
Yeah, Molly, what's up?
I think that one of the things that I did at the beginning when I got coaches and people on board was providing them the space to meet with me one-on-one over Zoom, which I know you talked about. And I think that that really opens up a place for them to feel like their money is being invested in a good place. Like there's a person, you're giving your money to a place that you're going to be held accountable for. I am the person that's going to be following up with them and just answering any of their questions, and also kind of turning it more into not only fitness goals, but like goals for your day-to-day to make sure your self-care is accounted for, because working out is a part of that. But if you are at the office for 9 hours, how are you going to remember and feel good enough to work out at home? So I think for me, getting back on board of following up with those people, meeting with them again, it's not just meeting with them once, it's meeting with them again, reaching out again, providing that space again. And maybe even having a group call. Kelly is the coach that got me signed up. So like having a group call with all of our girls to say like, what's up everyone? The world is difficult right now, but like, how are we all doing? And like connecting those people that may be living in different spaces and areas of Chicago or the United States. I think that would be really beneficial to have them feel like they have a community, since we all are so isolated right now in the world. So that is, I wanted to verbalize it because when I verbalize it, I feel like then I have to do it. Then it's more real. So that is my 2 cents. And thank you for this call. I needed that motivation. And I love all of you. Thank you.
I love that. That's badass. Yeah, not even, it's sometimes even more than like scheduling those 20-minute calls with coaches, like just scheduling a 20-minute call with past challengers. I mean, how many of us have coaches and challengers that have fallen off? Everybody. So this is like a great time to reach back out to those people that maybe have fallen off a little bit. And like Molly said, like, it's not the one call that's going to do it. It's that second, third, fourth call that really maybe gets someone to have that little spark, that click. And you nailed it, Molly. Like, we talk about how great the products are all the time. We talk about how great the business opportunity is, but sometimes we overlook that personal touch, like just those customers knowing that someone's in their corner, someone that they can reach out to and lean on, rather than, just buying something from an infomercial and like not even taking the saran wrap off, or going to a gym, or having a gym membership that they never use. So yeah, this is a perfect time to reach back out to anybody you've ever sold anything to over the years, or anyone that's ever been interested, and even doing like some kind of challenge group where they don't even have to spend another dime. Like they probably already have a Beachbody On Demand membership that they're not using right now, your coaches and your customers. So that's great. That's a great point. Not just reaching out to like those coaches and your coaches, but some of your challengers, and giving that little bit of extra, like that personal touch. That's what some people need in the fourth quarter. They need that little extra coaching, that little extra like pump up to get them back, to get their mind right. Like I always use sports analogies, but it's just like sometimes people in the fourth quarter, they get like frazzled, or there's like, it seems like they have like deer in the headlight look. And sometimes you just gotta like grab them and shake them and be like, yo, like we got this. Let's do this. And, like rally around that and get them back on track, rather than them like being all flustered and like sitting down on the bench and feeling like they don't have a chance. Which I see it happen all the time in November and December. So that little extra personal touch goes a long way.
Can I say something?
No, not you,
Jen.
Jen. No, Jen. No, yeah, of course.
So I just wanted to say this was awesome. I definitely needed this pump up just to get myself excited about reaching out to people, and just restarting all those conversations that I've been having this whole year and years prior to this. But what we can control right now, and what I keep telling myself, and what I'm going to keep telling my coaches and my challengers going into the rest of this month and December, is that we can control every action that we do, meaning we get our workouts in, we drink our Shakeology, we're proof of the product every single day. We commit to a plan 100, 110%, and we show up even when we don't want to and even when it's hard, because this is when people are watching and when they need to see it. Because this time of year is when all of those excuses creep in. And you can either exemplify those excuses by, drinking, having too much sweets. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, but you have to commit to a plan and hold yourself accountable and tell people what you're doing so they can really see you as that example and beacon of hope that they've been following for quite some time. So I just finished the Ultimate Reset, day 21 today. So that was like the ultimate commitment. And so I'm just excited to keep running with that and to keep showing people that the only thing that's standing in your way is you and the excuses that you're telling yourself. I'm just here to show you that we have the tools in the community to help you get out of your own damn way, basically.
Oh, love that. How's your energy feeling like 21 days into the Ultimate Reset? Like, and how was the energy like roller coaster throughout it?
It was so hard, but in the best way possible, kind of like doing 80-day obsession. The first week was really tough. I was freezing and I was kind of grumpy. The caffeine withdrawals were so real, but by week 2 and week 3, I felt unstoppable. I don't want to drink coffee. I really don't want to drink as much as I would have before. And yeah, I just feel like I've learned a lot of healthier habits and really worked on my mindset more than my physical strength. The mental strength has been really what I've been working on. And I think that really inspires people.
Yeah, that's huge. And you probably felt like just a clarity like in your mindset just from eating cleaner.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a rock.
The rock. Yeah.
A really hard one to carry around, but yeah.
I love that. That's huge. Did you throw in, were you like reading anything or doing any type of like personal development along with that helped with that like mindset?
Yeah. So I have a coach that I check in, like a mindset coach that I check in with once a week. So like an hour-long virtual sessions that I've been doing, which have been really helpful. And then I'm reading Fear is My Homeboy, which is a really good one. Just about getting out of your own way and just doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep that up.
So what's the plan like for these next like 60 days besides like doing the damn thing and like showing people like what's up? Are you gonna like reach out to people, do a challenge group? Like
Yeah. I have an ongoing challenge group. So I'll be inviting to that ongoing. And I will be definitely stressing the price point, 140 and 200, depending on conversations that I've had with people. But really, like, it's all about reaching out, messaging every single person that's watching my stories or liking my posts, because those are the people that are watching you and are really invested in what you have to say. So I'm going to be upping my invites big time. And I posted earlier in the chat that team power hours would be super helpful, even if it's just like once a week. I got on one of Michelle Cahill's before, and it was awesome. So I definitely need to do that again. So maybe we can organize that. That would be awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd be down. I might hop on Michelle's, see what it's all about.
Yeah, it's awesome. She blasts music and she comes on and powers everybody up. It's great.
Nice. Michelle, when are those power hours?
They're usually at Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So after this call, I run them with Sydney Thompson, but she's seeing her family today. So today we took off, but usually after this week, it's every Tuesday. We've only taken the last two Tuesdays off.
Okay, cool. So we can all kind of plan on hopping on the power hour next week after the team call. Sweet. And listening to
You can ride my coattails, and if you need the pump up, come on.
Nice. Gangster rap, I'm assuming.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm in. I like it. Good deal. Yeah, and I liked what Jen said about like reaching out to everyone that's watching her stories and like upping the invites big time, and also looking through my past customers that I haven't heard from. They went into like witness protection or something over the years. I'm going to definitely reach back out to some of them, all of them, and coaches too that have kind of fallen off, and just try to help them get back on track with just their routine to start. Anybody else? Anybody else got power hours that they know of besides Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern? Any other power hours out there? Michelle's going to share the link in the Team Boom coaches group. Sweet. Can you post your link? Yeah, we got to, I'll try to see what other power hours are out there. I know there's like a million different power hours that go on within Team Boom. But I'll try to like put a little document together that has dates and times and all the links, so anybody can hop on like whatever like times work best for them throughout the week. I got you. All right, I'm gonna make a note of that. Power hour, fourth quarter, grab the rock spreadsheet. All right, I'm doing it. Anything else? Any other shares, questions? You guys ready to grab the rock? Fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarter. Like you are going to get some people that commit, but don't be surprised if 80% of people don't right now. Like there's just a lot of people that might not commit right now, but just because you invite them to the party, the holiday party, and they don't show up, it doesn't mean that you can't invite them to the January party. But at least like let them know that they're invited and that the door's open. And you guys all know the BYOCP, right? To bring your own challenge pack. You guys know that? The BYOCP, bring your own challenge pack. You guys know this, right? You got it? Like, okay, that's the party. Like, a lot of coaches struggle with this inviting thing. They think they're like bugging people. If you throw a party, if you invite someone to a party, you don't feel like you're bugging anybody. Like if they don't show up, you don't think to yourself, man, like can't believe I invited them. I feel like I was annoying them that I invited them to the party. It's not how it works. Like, give them the invitation. If they show up, they show up. If they don't show up in November or December, that's totally cool. But just keep showing up yourself and allow them to keep watching you. And you'll be surprised how many people are ready to show up when January 1st comes around. It's a game changer. But the coaches that put in the work right now are the ones that take advantage of all that momentum in January. The coaches that take time off right now in the fourth quarter and then try to come back in January, it's not how it works. This is the fourth quarter. This is when the games are won. So let's rock it. Great call, guys. Let's do a little boom on three, and then we'll get out of here. You guys can unmute yourself if you want. All right, team. Let's rock it, baby. Fourth quarter. Boom on three. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
Boom.
Let's go. I'll see you guys.